Did you know that Kansas City is world famous for barbecue? No? If you didn't, you know now. And don't forget it, because if you are walking down the street in Kansas City and forget that for 1 second, a local is sure to correct you. Hi, I'm Rachel Kilmer, a real estate agent based out of Kansas City and the go-to expert on all things local. And I guess that includes barbecue. What a delicious topic we will be discussing today. You want to know what you need to know about barbecue so that you can fit in with the locals? I've got you. Let's go. Kansas City barbecue is historic. In fact, it's been the go-to cuisine of our city for 100 years. The reason that barbecue became so synonymous with Kansas City actually goes back to the railroads and how they used to ship cattle all over the country. In the West Bottoms, is what the neighborhood is called today, there's a building that you can still see across the top, says KC Livestock Exchange. It was basically like the stock market for animals. That would then become food, obviously. So the meat was here. So then locals just thought, well, what do we do with this meat? Smoke it, barbecue it, make it delicious. That started in the 20s, and then the restaurants started popping up all over the city in the 30s and 40s. So these meats are slow smoked over wood, and it's a lot of different kinds of meat. The main thing with Kansas City barbecue is the sauce. The sauce is kind of sweet and tangy. It's thicker than what you think of if you've had barbecue in other parts of the country. When barbecue first started in the early days, there was just like 5 to 6 major restaurants, but now there are barbecue joints literally every corner, all over town. There's food trucks, there's small hole in the walls, there's major nice restaurants. Every kind of barbecue you could possibly want, it is available to you here in Kansas City. So why is Kansas City barbecue so famous? There's a few reasons. One is, I just mentioned, is the sauce. The Kansas City barbecue sauce is really unique. It's very delicious and a big part of the barbecue experience. In other parts of the country, the seasoning, the rub is more important. In other parts of the country, the sauce is important, but it's a thinner, more like vinegary sauce. Not here. It's really thick and delicious. Another reason Kansas City barbecue is so special and unique is the diversity of meat. Kansas City barbecue is not just one kind of meat. You can have beef, pork, chicken, sausage, ham, literally any kind of meat you can think of can become part of your plate, your meal, when you're having Kansas City barbecue. One of my personal favorites is burnt ends. And when I've brought friends in from out of town, family, clients, and we've gone out to eat barbecue together, they think burnt ends, that sounds disgusting, right? It sounds like crispy, charred. No, burnt ends are actually super delicious. They are burnt, but not like charred. Like they're just perfectly cooked. They like melt in your mouth if they're done right. It is the point of a smoked brisket. So basically it's using up every piece of brisket that's available, and they are bomb. Trust me, do not sleep on the burnt ends. Okay, so if you're wondering where to eat, what restaurant do you even begin with when you're trying Kansas City barbecue? That's kind of a complicated question, and it's a hot topic if you ask a local in Kansas City, because everyone has their favorite that they are so passionate about and they think is the best. And most people will tell you that their local hole in the wall that's the closest to their house is the best one in the city. But I'll start with kind of the headline big names, the Mount Rushmore of Kansas City barbecue, if you will. Arthur Bryant's was basically the original in the 18th and Vine District, which if you are visiting Kansas City or new to Kansas City, you must go see this area. They have some amazing museums. It was originally where some of the Kansas City jazz scene started, but Arthur Bryant's is one of the original. I would say their sauce is the most unique of all of the Kansas City barbecue sauces as well. It's a really specific flavor. Another famous one is Gates Barbecue. This one is kind of known for the process. You go in and you order and you pick up a tray, and they kind of like rush you through the line, and they're like, come on, what do you want? What do you want? So hot tip, if you're going into Gates, is stand back and wait at the back, look at the menu and decide what you want before you get in line, or else you'll feel really rushed and frazzled. But that's probably my personal favorite. It is so good. Another famous one is Joe's Kansas City Barbecue, originally known as Oklahoma Joe's. The original location of this one is in a gas station. It's still in the same building, though I don't think they actually serve gas there anymore because there's usually a line around the building. And now they have other locations as well. So it was Oklahoma Joe's, now it's just Kansas City Joe's, but it is fantastic. I feel like they're known for their ribs, and then they have this sandwich called the Z-Man sandwich that just don't ask questions, just order it. And then the last of the most famous ones that I'll mention is Jack Stack. Jack Stack is what you might call like a cloth napkin barbecue place. It's actually a regular restaurant. You get seated by a host, you have a server, you sit at a table. It's kind of a fancy barbecue experience, but it is so good. Those are some of the most famous ones, but truly, you cannot go wrong. If you see someone smoking meat outside, just go eat there. It's gonna be delicious. And then you'll have a real authentic experience of Kansas City barbecue. If you're wondering what to order when you're at a barbecue restaurant, I have a few pieces of advice for you. Is try a little bit of everything. Most of these restaurants offer a sampler platter where you get 2 or 3 different kinds of meats and then a couple of sides. Definitely do that because then you get to taste a little bit of each kind of meat and every single one is super different. Ask for your sauces on the side so you can taste each sauce as well because each restaurant usually has several sauce options. The sides are also super famous. In fact, when Barack Obama was president and came to visit Kansas City, he went to one of these barbecue restaurants. I think it's Arthur Bryant's. Google and double check me, but I'm pretty sure it was Arthur Bryant's, and he wanted coleslaw and they were out of coleslaw. And I don't know why, I still lose sleep over this on the regular. Like, the president is coming to eat barbecue and you ran out of coleslaw. Like, whoever was in charge of that, I have some questions for you. But anyways, the sides are a big deal. Baked beans, coleslaw, potato salad are all major barbecue sides. I'm a French fry girly, love French fries, but I have learned the hard way that some barbecue purists don't think of French fries as a barbecue side, and I don't get down with that. And the last thing, if you're trying to decide what to order, how to enjoy barbecue, just ask a local. When you're in line, if the person in front of you or behind you seems to know what they're doing, just ask them what they're gonna order. Can't go wrong. Barbecue events and festivals, believe it or not, are actually a huge part of the calendar every year here in Kansas City. The most famous one is called the American Royal, and it's basically a barbecue competition where people come from all over the country and set up tents where they are actually cooking the barbecue. You can go sample it, and then they are entered to win awards and prizes based on the meat, the sauce, each category that they're in. It's a cool event to go to, but the best way to experience it is to know someone that knows someone that is an owner of a tent or cooking in a tent, so you actually have somewhere to hang out and have a home base while you're there at the event. There are lots of smaller barbecue competitions that come to Kansas City every year as well. There's some that have started up recently that are not historically well known, but just as fun and delicious. And then pretty much any street fair, any art festival, any local community fair is going to have a barbecue truck there as well. So really anything you're doing out and about in the community is going to have something to do with barbecue. So yes, the Kansas City barbecue scene is a huge part of our culture and our cuisine here in Kansas City. If you are thinking about moving to Kansas City, it is another delicious reason to make this community your home. I would love to help you. I'm Rachel the Realtor, a real estate agent licensed in both Kansas and Missouri. Slide into the old DMs, shoot me an email, give me a call. Can't wait to connect with you. Until then, I'll be dishing out all things Kansas City right here on YouTube. See you next time.